All versus Rising Soul family. So let me tell you this. You can ask a lot of people that grew up in New Jersey, Rhode Island, New York, California, Nevada. They'll tell you that those people who grew up out in the western states, in the eastern states, they'll tell you they don't know what an apartment is, a house is. They don't know what none of that stuff is. They don't know what a homebody is because why? People that grew up and had the luxury to be living out in the western states like California, in the Bay Area, or living out in the vibrant places like New Jersey and New York, they don't know what a homebody is because there's so much fun things to do with fun, vibrant, soulful people out in New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, California. Man, look at YouTube videos. Like a lot of these social media famous people that be out in Philadelphia, you know, big cities in New Jersey, New York, California, Nevada, with so much fun things you could do with so many fun people out in the eastern states and the western states. Like, why would you want to stay in a house? Now, if you like in the south, the southern states like Louisiana, I mean, the southern states will force you to be a homebody. Because look, the southern states, if you did your history research, the southern states of the United States is a slave place. It showed during slavery with the European the European slave owners. They migrated, the Europeans migrated to the southern states because the southern states was a slave place. The eastern and the western states is not a slave place. Those are vibrant places where people go out and have fun because, you know, you got all the lights, glamour, Hollywood and all that. So, like, when it comes to melanated people, we migrated to the west and the eastern states, especially us Haitians, Jamaicans, Nigerians, all that. So, like for example, like me, if I had grew up in New Jersey or New York, I wouldn't know what video games were. I wouldn't know none of this stuff. I only knew what video games and iPhones were because I grew up in the South, because the South they don't have that much stuff because the South is a slave place, a white person's place. Eastern location like New York is a melanated people's place. You know, people like Wu-Tang Clan, Nas, Wyclef Jean, they grew up out in them places because there's more melanated essence out there. The South is all white people's land, country folks' land, you know, European people's land. So if you wanted to be the person, if you want to be the person that want to go out often and have fun with vibrant people, you know, places like Rhode Island, New Jersey, Massachusetts, New York, Pennsylvania, and places like California, Arizona, Nevada, you know, those places I listed, the western states and the eastern states in general, are the perfect places for folks who like to go out and have fun with people and all that. The southern states is not like that because, you know, I'm gonna tell you this, there's no such thing as a homebody in New York. There's no such thing as a homebody in New Jersey or Rhode Island because there's so much fun things you can do in them places, just like California, Nevada, and Arizona. Who you know in California is a homebody, especially in Los Angeles. Who is a homebody for real in Los Angeles? But there's a lot of homebodies in the South because the South is a slave place. The South is not a glitz and glamour place for you to be all flashy. You know, like, these are all facts. You know, because a lot of Africans, Guatemalan people, a lot of Mexican folks, they migrated to the West because the West had more melanated essence, while the South had a lot of that white folk shit out there, man. So, like, if you a melanated person, any melanated person right now that's currently living in the South, man, please do yourself a favor and head out east, head out west, man, because the western states and the eastern states is like a good alternative if you cannot be in the Caribbean or African countries, man, for real. So if you want to dress all flashy and wear like these rare edition shoes that you have, bro, let me tell you something, man. Go out the western states because the South is like a white folks people's land, bro. Man, the South is just terrible, y'all. South is terrible as fuck. It's terrible. Because I'm going to tell you this. If I had grew up in Nevada, bro, I would not be a homebody at all. I wouldn't even know what apartments or homes is, because people out in California and Nevada and New York and New Jersey, they be out till like 5 a.m. in midnight. Like literally, people be staying up all night, bro. If you look at these rap DVDs, like Too Raw for the Streets, if you look at Pennsylvania, all these rappers in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, New York, those people will literally be out in the city all the way up to like 3 a.m. midnight, a time when people will be sleeping, right? So like, think about that. That just goes to show you that the eastern and the western states is more suitable for melanated people in general, and is more suitable for people with vibrant personalities. See, me, I wasn't birthed in the South, so I could like, I just don't like anything about the South. It just could never really register for me, because I was not birthed in Mississippi. I wasn't birthed in Louisiana. I wasn't birthed in Arkansas. I wasn't birthed in Florida. We know how country Florida is. We know how it is. But let me use a better word than country. We know how, we know how white folks it is. We know how so-called European it is in Florida. I don't care about the vacation spot in Miami. It's still, the South is the South to me. But man, just imagine though, if I had grew up in Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York, do you know how many, bro? Do you know how famous I would actually be right now? Just think about it. Do you know how famous that a lot of people would be if they grew up in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York, and they be on them rap DVDs all the way up to the social media area? Bro, the social media era now, anybody else that's in New York, in New Jersey, in Pennsylvania, in California, Nevada, you need to be taking advantage of that if you have not. Because look, if I was living out in Nevada or California or New Jersey or New York, I'll be famous. I'll be social media famous from the simple fact of just by fucking rapping. And I could just be freestyling and wearing flashy clothes. And don't even have to do all like out of this world type shit. Because like the eastern states and western states was made for melanated people as an alternative. If you cannot be in the West, if you cannot be in the African or the Caribbean countries. Ask a lot of Haitian people, Jamaican people, all those damn Trinidad people. They'll tell you that the eastern states and the western states is way better than the South, man. The only people who would tell you that the South is amazing are fucking European white folks. All them damn colonizers, bro. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all, man. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all, man. Cause like, look, I would trade everything in my life, like everything right now. I would trade everything in my life just to have grew up as a teenager and a child in the eastern states and the western states. I would trade everything. I would trade my PlayStation 2, my GameCube. I would trade everything in my life just to meet the alternate timeline version of me, who grew up in these eastern states and western states, and they were more famous, and they were more loved by a lot of people, and they were just like, they get compliments every day just for being a vibrant person, bro. Like the South, man. All I'm gonna say about the southern states, you can't be dressing all flashy in the South, man. Like they gonna look at you strange, like you some type of being that's not even supposed to exist. That's how it is, man. Like flashy people in the southern states, they get seen as a being who ain't supposed to exist. They get seen like some type of species who is like endangered or some shit. Because like flashy people is they're not really seen like that in the South, man. But they be all the way out there in the East, in the Western states. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all.